good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite footballer updates channel. It's a beautiful Thursday night, 24 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. That means 24 minutes into the Brentford Arsenal game that is still goalless as we speak. While the game between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, Barcelona are trailing by 2-0 in the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey. So that will be our focus tonight as we go through it. But there's also some major news coming through if you're an England national team fan, because Thomas Tuchel did sign a new contract as the England boss until June 2028. So that is happening. But for the Arsenal-Brentford game, we've not had too many moments apart from 2 yellow cards for Gabriel Magalhaes and Janelt earlier on. And then we had a brilliant save from David Raya, making amends for his earlier mistake when he tried to do a quick restart of the play, but instead of passing the ball to or laying it down for Declan Rice, he laid it out for a Brentford player who brought in the cross, and Igor Thiago with a brilliant header. They are forcing David Raya into a brilliant save, which has been the first attempt on target there for the Bees, who have only lost 2 games at home. That's at the GTEC Stadium, losing to Man City by 0-0 and Nottingham Forest by 2-0 so far this season. So yeah, that is what is happening on that front. So in case you're wondering, that is what is happening on that side. Anyways, you will allow me make the updates that I need to make for our broadcast, and then we'll get it going. We'll be putting up a poll question in regards to tonight's broadcast. Just for the laugh says, Arsenal can't lose this match, can't lose this title. I bet you're happy. Well, anything can still happen just for the laugh. They can squander it because, for example, just imagine if they were to lose tonight. That means by the time we get to next weekend, not this weekend, because this weekend is the FA Cup, but the weekend after that, when they play away to Tottenham Hotspur, that means they are only 3 points ahead of Man City. But before that, they have a game against Wolverhampton Wanderers in midweek. So if Arsenal not to lose this title, they must make sure they keep that 6-point cushion, because for as long as Man City win, the pressure is going to be on. Right now, as we speak, coming into this fixture, the deficit has already been halved to 3 points following Man City's victory yesterday against Fulham in a 3-0 victory. Have some faith in your team. I do have faith. In any case, I did predict that they will win the Premier League title. But I'm just saying anything can still happen. It's the nature of football, unfortunately. As much as we would want our wishes to go everything to go our way, sometimes it's not the case. You know, you and I can sit here and wish them all the wonders of joy in the world, but if they do not live to the challenge, then it's only them to blame. So I simply say that anything can happen. I've watched football long enough to know that it's not just black and white, you know. But yeah, thank you so much for that submission. Brentford are playing well. Indeed, they're playing really well. And that's how you then, you know, that's how then things may not go your way. So and the funny thing about football is that it doesn't necessarily take for you to have a bad day in office to lose a game or to drop points. This week I've been oftentimes using the example of Chelsea, saying, look at their game against Leeds United. They played brilliantly well, 2 bad moments, a penalty and a scrappy defensive error, and they conceded 2, and the game ended 2-2 because Cole Palmer equally missed a golden chance on the other side. So, you know, anything can happen. But thank you so much. OR says, hi, regards from Turkey. RIP in Amin Dada. OR rejoins us from Turkey there. Always a pleasure. Guys, for those of you that are just joining us, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I'm coming to you live from Kampala, Uganda. Please like the broadcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if it's your first time here. And do let me know where you're joining us from this beautiful Thursday night/evening. Anyways, for those of you that are already subscribed to the channel, please do not forget to go over to the channel under the video section and watch those 2 videos. Earlier on, we did publish 2 videos in which we talked about, the sacking of Sean Dyche at Nottingham Forest, and then we also discussed who will take charge of Tottenham after the sacking of Thomas Frank. The Tottenham fans seem to favor a return of Mauricio Pochettino as their preferred candidate. But will that be the case? Only time will tell. We can only have to wait and see who will win tonight. Okay. Meanwhile, there's a game going on in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey between Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona. The last update was Barcelona were leading. Sorry, Atletico de Madrid were leading that game by 2-0. You should have seen the error from Joan Garcia. Very, very poor error there. That he failed to control a back pass, and the ball went over the line before Ademola Lookman put it back in. So, anyways, I'm setting up our poll question for tonight. Just indulge me as we go through this, moment. Okay. Draw. All right. Yeah. So that's our poll question for tonight. We are asking, who do you think will win tonight's fixture between Arsenal and Brentford? Please vote on that poll based on your feelings or your thoughts. You say Galatasaray, SK, Turkish champion. We beat Liverpool this year at the UEFA Champions League, by 1-0. I do remember, but you lost against Manchester City by 2-0. You say Forest owner seems very deluded. That job seems a poisoned chalice. Evangelis Marinakis has sort of made some has made some irrational decisions or rash decisions. For me particularly, right from the onset, in the sacking of Nuno Espirito Santo, I did not agree with that because, yes, I understand they had their misunderstandings between him and Nuno Espirito Santo. Some people have gone on to say that he literally talked himself out of a job, but it can't be that simple. It can't be just that, It's not like their relationship was broken beyond irreparable damage, So, and then he made a rash decision. He sacked him. Of course, he did not see, that's Nuno Espirito Santo, did not see eye to eye with his sporting director or head of global football at the club. That's Edu Gaspar Daoud, the former Arsenal technical and sporting director. But, you can still work with people even when you do not see eye to eye with those same people. So all Evangelis Marinakis had to do is have a sit down one-on-one with Nuno Espirito Santo, have an honest conversation, a candid one, and then move forward. But he decided to sack him and then brought in Ange Postecoglou, who managed the club for only 8 games, winning none and losing 6 with 2 draws, and then he sacked him as well. That was about what, a month and a half in the job, Then what happened next was the appointment of Sean Dyche on a 2.5-year contract. Guess what happened? Soon, he was I think appointed when? This was when? Around November or September? I think around November, and he too gets sacked. So he sacked. Now they are looking to appoint a former Wolves manager, Vitor Pereira, who helped them survive relegation last season, to help Nottingham Forest overcome the scare or the nightmare of relegation this season. So we can only wait and see. But Arsenal looking reckless tonight. Wow. Okay. Arsenal living dangerously. They already have a booking for Gabriel Magalhaes. It's never good when a defender, centre back particularly, gets an early booking in the game. Neither was it good for Janelt in midfield. George Weah, for me, in the AC Milan days, just for the laughs, This one says Ibrahim Sekaja, greatest player ever in Africa. OR. OR is talking about the former Uganda Cranes captain and centre back who played for Red Bull Salzburg, for Salzburg, sorry, in Austria there. And then he's the coach at New York Red Bulls, Ibrahim Sekaja. Definitely one of Africa's, most talented players, but certainly maybe not the very best, because you've had George Opongwea, who won the Ballon d'Or, the only African to have won the Ballon d'Or. You've had players like, look at Mo Salah, the achievements he's been able to achieve. Look at Sadio Mane winning 2 Africa Cup of Nations titles. Look at, players like Samuel Eto'o, who won, I think, well with Cameroon. So they've been, look at Dennis Masinde Onyango, was voted African Player of the Year based on the African continent. I think that was around 2016, when Mamelodi Sundowns went on to win the CAF Champions League. And so, yeah, there's quite a number of those that you can look at. JJ Okocha, look at Cole Toure, look at Didier Drogba, Yves Debire. So there's quite a number of African players that you can point to that perhaps had better careers or even bigger careers and history or pedigree as compared to our very own Ibrahim Sekaja. But without a doubt, he's one of our greatest football experts when it comes to Ugandan football. But I think maybe by level of achievement, Dennis Masinde Onyango gets, a step above him. That would be my feeling about that. But anyway, it's a personal opinion that I do hold. Then just for the laughs, I remember Roger Milla in the World Cup too, and no one even knew his age. Loro. Yeah, Roger Milla has met Jesus personally because of his age. I mean, yeah, there's been quite a number of brilliant African players that have gone on to have, very, very elaborate industrious careers, perhaps. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? Oh, I need to confirm this. Atletico de Madrid are leading Barcelona by 3-0. No wonder Pedri is absent tonight. Joan Garcia's own goal, Antoine Griezmann, that was Joan Garcia in the 7th minute, Antoine Griezmann in the 14th minute, and now Ademola Lookman in the 33rd minute. I mean, how poor do Barcelona have to look tonight? I meant Prophet Jesus. Okay. Let's see. Barcelona are looking far from their best tonight because they are a goal down. They are 3 goals down already. I had it on at 1-0. Okay. Well, things have since changed. Wow. Anyways, cup competitions do come with their surprises. Anyway, we're talking about an Atletico de Madrid side who beat up against Real Betis 5-0 last week on Thursday in the quarterfinals. So clearly, they are very capable. I stand to be corrected, but I think this is a 2-leg fixture when it comes to the semifinals of the Copa del Rey. But I mean, going 3-0 up does put you in a very, very strong position. We did hear from Barcelona yesterday in a communique that Marcus Rashford had suffered some form of injury or knock, and he will be absent for this fixture. So we'll have to wait and see. I need to look at Barcelona's starting 11. Otherwise, Joan Garcia, Pau Kubasi, Eric Garcia, Alejandro Balde, Jose Kunde, Marc Casado, Frankie de Jong, Fermin Lopez, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres, and Lamine Yamal. That should be a good enough starting 11 to compete against Atletico de Madrid, who have Joan Mosso, they have Molina, Marc Pibul, they have David Hanko, Matteo Lugeri, they have Giuliano Simeone, Marcus Llorente, Koke, Ademola Lookman, Antoine Griezmann, and Julian Alvarez. That's how Barcelona did set up. Atletico Madrid and Barcelona did set up for tonight. For those of you that are wondering, Arsenal are without William Saliba tonight because he is ill. So they did name to their starting 11. That's Arsenal. They have David Raya in goal. They have Christian Mosquera playing alongside Gabriel Magalhaes, Pierre Hincapié, and Julian Timber forming the back four. Martin Zubimendi alongside Declan Rice and Ebeleche Eze from the midfield three, while Leandro Trossard, Victor Gyökeres, and Noni Madueke from the front three. On their bench, they have Kepa Arrizabalaga, Ben White, Ricardo Carafiori, Maz Luis Kelly, Martin Odegaard, Christian Nogard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, and Gabriel Martinelli. On the other side, the home side, Brentford have uh, Kaumen Kelleher in goal, Michael Kayode, they have Christophe Aja, they have Van de Beek, they have Rico Henry, they have Yamol Yamoluk, they have Janels, they have Dango Watara, Matthias Jansen, and Kenny Lewis Potter, or Kin Lewis Potter, with Igor Thiago leading at the tip there. On the bench, they have players like Aaron Hickey, Ethan Pinnock, Nathan Collins, Jordan Henderson, Mikel Damsgaard, Romero Donovan, Luca Bent, and they have Foro as well as Hanko, the goalkeeper. So that's how Brentford look like. A picture of green football pitch, at least. Oh, okay. I've seen the feedback. You're saying put the Brentford versus picture on instead. That's just for the laugh. He says, please put your wall some football items so people shall understand aim of the channel when sliding live broadcasts. A picture of green football pitch at least. Well, it's an empty wall, eh? So I understand that bit. I look forward to putting up a sticker of some form, to help us really. I thank you for the suggestion. It's one that is on my mind. I've just not come up with the design and then the resources to have it printed, but I'm considering a sticker, at least a wall sticker there to be in the background, even if it will be just the logo or something. But I intend to put up one there. So we'll get that soon. I can't say how soon, but certainly with time it will come. Certainly with time it will come. Certainly with time it will come there. It will come there. So no worries. But thank you so much. So yeah, like I was telling you guys. Oh, Man City fans are liking this so far because this is where they want the game to be at. Arsenal to be struggling, the game to remain nil-nil. Oh, that's a beautiful cross. Could not find an Arsenal player in the box. Because nobody popped out on the other side. Really? Arsenal, I feel they are playing a dangerously high line. I've never found any of their center backs to be that fast, nor any of their fullbacks in comparison to some of the speed ones that I've seen. Arsenal keep probing. They keep probing, but they are yet to find the breakthrough, the much needed breakthrough that they are hoping for or looking for. And like I said, Man City would want this game to stay as is. No design needed. Well, I mean, if I put just an image of a football pitch, it sounds, I don't know, will it be some form of cliche? I don't know. I want something that embodies like football. It doesn't have to be too artistic in the form of design and elaborate. I just need perhaps a couple of players. You could have, let's say, a Brad Erling Haaland on there. You could have a Mo Salah. You could have a Bruno Fernandes on there. You could have a Bukayo Saka, or a Lamine Yamal, a Kylian Mbappe. That kind of thing. Thanks for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment. But I mean, something that to be on that wall. I remember at one time I was broadcasting, and then somebody was complaining about how they had a bit, I don't know, reflective light from the wall affecting their eyes, something like that. I didn't get it particularly well because I wasn't solely convinced. We're into the final minutes of the first half. Not much has happened. There's not been any clear-cut chances created by both sides, apart from Brentford's attempt through Igor Thiago, that brilliant header that David Raya saved. Is the only shot on target we have in this game. Arsenal have not had any shot on target so far in this game. They've hardly created any chances, so they've struggled through that. Ram Mexela Xavi, that is Avan. Oh, I'm trying to read your name. I'm trying to read your name. Is it Avatand? Avatand? Or Jesus, guys. Apologies if I'm misreading your name, but it's a bit of a difficult one. Anyway, you are making things in calm way. You should have some guests for some discussions. People like interactivity. He is Georgiana. Okay, he's Georgiana. Well, in terms of interaction, now you need platforms like StreamYard to do that, to implement those kinds of things where you invite people. But also, you'll be surprised with how uptight people can be with showing their faces before the cameras, or others who show their faces before cameras just to accept a collaboration. So, but with time, for the regulars on the channel, they've seen some of the interviews that I've done. Georgia is a country in former USSR. Okay. Oh, you're saying he's Georgian. Oh, nationality. Anyway, the game is going into halftime and still goalless. Like I said, there's not any major talking points. Arsenal have struggled to create any chances despite their dominancy on the ball. Meanwhile, Barcelona are 4-0 down going into halftime. There. This is according to the latest update on my live squad dashboard. I'm trying to find out who is squad. The fourth goal. It's yet to be updated, but I mean, Julian Alvarez in the 3rd minute of stoppage time of the first stanza. I mean, how poor is he had to be? My feed of the Barcelona Atletico de Madrid game has been so poor and inconsistent that I could hardly grasp the entire feel of the game in terms of Atletico de Madrid's dominancy. But yeah, That is the feel from there. But like I was saying about this Arsenal side, they've not created any chances. There is hardly anything that they've created that you can look onto to say, yeah, that was a key moment. The Brentford have defended well in set pieces where Arsenal oftentimes look threatening, because we know they are one of the good sides when it comes to set piece play. Brentford, so it's not done, Arsenal a whole lot of favors in that regard. But yeah, I think if you were to ask them, I think Brentford will be the happier side going in goalless into halftime because they know they're not under any form of pressure. If you're Brentford, you're not under any form of pressure. In any case, you're looking to win the game and go level on points with Liverpool, who are at 42. And as we stand with their 39 points, I think they stand to, even if it were a draw, I think it's quite a decent enough result that they would take as Brentford. But for Arsenal, anything other than or short of a win will feel as an enormous letdown, a big disappointment. You say, did you hear former player Shota Avalades, the twins from Georgia, Shota and Achille Avalades? Not really. Football is expansive enough that you can hardly keep up. You can hardly keep up with every tremendous talent there is there. I remember in some of the early days of doing these live broadcasts, we're having a discussion about Cheteri, the Indian football legend. And as good as he was, because he played majority of his football domestically and he did majority of his wonders with the Indian national team, who do not have a big footprint on global football tournaments like the World Cup, he in a certain way remains anonymous. They were famous in Netherlands league. Okay, I mean, so yeah, those kinds of things are what tell you or speak to you about how broad and expansive this game is. Barcelona players are looking dejected. They are looking on in disbelief. Frankie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, I mean, they're all looking on in disbelief. They cannot believe what's just happened to them, that they are 4-0 down against Atletico de Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. And if you're Atletico de Madrid, you're looking to seal this fixture in the first leg. So Copa del Rey played on home and away basis. So I suspect we may not see our usual suspect in Pedri, a Barcelona fan there from Spain, tonight. So yeah. Uses a hybrid format, whether it's played home and away basis depends entirely on which round. So yeah. So yeah, even if you're Atletico high zero, good to have you back. Always a pleasure. Your government should invite some worldwide football clubs to Uganda. Well, last I checked, they were trying to have a conversation initially with Tottenham Hotspurs. No, somebody had followed to them the idea of Tottenham Hotspurs for a Visit Uganda kind of sponsorship, similar to what you have with Visit Rwanda at PSG, Bayern Munich, where for them it's on the training ground, but on Atletico de Madrid and things like that. Then for some reason, a deal fell through, and then they spoke to Crystal Palace. I do not know where those conversations ended. But also, in large part, a lack of sufficient high quality football infrastructure has not supported that effort, because you need to position yourself in sort of having the market for those sort of clubs. Now, this is not just unique to Uganda. Do you ever wonder why most European clubs make world tours during preseason, but rarely do they come to Africa? I think at one time Manchester United went and played in South Africa. Everton had played in Kenya. I struggle to remember any other. And I've always wondered that what I used to wonder why that was the case. But one, it has to make commercial value to them because you do not have so many African football fans traveling to go to those countries for football tourism in the sense of watching games. I'm not saying they are not there. It's just the number is small. But also, when you look, when it comes to club merchandise, when it comes to selling club merchandise, you find that majority of the African football fans, or for some of those global club football brands, can barely afford their club merchandise. I'll give you an example. Isabella Martin says, "I'm sorry I couldn't join earlier. It's all good. We came a bit late. That's as you can see, only 30 minutes ago, and yet it's 54 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. That means 6 minutes to midnight. So, do you have? Okay, I'll respond to those later. So." Basically, as giving me an example that let's say if I do support Arsenal, if Arsenal were to make a tour here, let's say I may be able to afford a preseason game that they may be playing to attend, but beyond that, am I able to afford their shirt? I mean, the Arsenal jersey is £100, and that's like 450,000 Uganda shillings. I'm looking at that, and for me, that's a very significant fee in sort of my budget and earnings. You get the point. So basically, when it comes to the economic standards of living, I think there's not that many countries when it comes to the commercial side of things that that are clubs that would entice those clubs into coming. However, I think if it were to be a move engineered by the Premier League to further popularize the Premier League, then it's something that they could look to push to have teams, visit the African continent and things like that. So you've seen how, for example, Spanish La Liga have or Spanish teams have played some games in Saudi Arabia to try and one, of course, they get paid for it, but also to promote their brands as well beyond their own bounds. That's why these clubs go to America to promote their brands as well, but because also the commercial value attached to that is very viable, in terms of, the customers you have on the other side that are capable of buying the club merchandise. Okay, let me go through some of your other comments. Do you have a great day till now? Yeah, I had a great day. Thanks for asking, Xerox. I hope you had a great one as well. You say, this was Isabella Martin saying, I'm back. Sorry, I couldn't join earlier. No worry, you don't need to apologize. What are you talking about? Somebody was saying, that our government should invite some of the worldwide football clubs to come and visit Uganda. And I was trying to paint them the picture of why that is not a common scenario. Because even when you look for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years, when Arsenal have had, I think more than even 4 years, when Arsenal have had the Visit Rwanda badge, I think it's been 6 years, possibly, when they've had the Visit Rwanda badge. Arsenal have not gone over to Rwanda to play even a friendly game. All they've had is a couple of their club legends and then football stars visit the country and do, more like a promotional tour, in that sense. So it's not oftentimes that simple. It has to make more commercial value. Okay. Then you say people on Takie are very big fanatics. I guarantee you, if you put on a Turkish national team jersey, you will get 10,000 of subscribers in 2 weeks. That's OR. Thank you for that recommendation. Maybe I should look for one. But also, if you send me one, I'll accept the gift. I'll accept the gift. Isabella Martin, I think, was responding to the poll question. He says, I think Arsenal will win. Pedro says, stop talking about Takie all the time. We get it. You're from there, but now you're doing too much. Or I mean, Pedro, cut the gentleman some slack. He loves his country. It's no problem with that. Hi, Pedro, are you gay? Why are you asking him that? No, he is not. That's Isabella Martin. I suppose he is. I think IDK, I don't know. By the way, I'm back. Okay. Acts like Kate is none of his business, really. Oh, let's not get into that. Uh, take it easy. Take it easy, guys, in the comment section. So, Pedri, tell me, I understand you're disappointed in the halftime results for your game. That's between Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. But what's gone so wrong? What's gone so wrong? Yeah, guys, for those of you that are not familiar with Pedri, he jokes too much. Do not take majority of his comments as very serious. He's one that I remember. There's a time we had I had one of our usual suspects. They used to be very active on the forum, and then they mentioned they liked my stream, and then Pedro went on to ask, "Do you want to marry Mr. Tribe?" So. It's just a joke. Pedri, give us your thoughts on your first half performance in that game, in that Copa del Rey semi-final first leg, where Atletico Madrid are leading by 4-0. First of all, if you're Atletico de Madrid, you're looking to avoid conceding in this game. To keep it that way, perhaps if you can score more in the second half, even better. But they've put themselves in a very good place so far in that tie. So I think Diego Simeone has been really, really pleased by the performance of his side. While in sharp contrast, I think Hansi Flick must be losing his head at halftime with those players in there in the dressing room because they've not competed enough. Mr. Tribe, do not talk about Barcelona today, please. I mean, Antakie, you say, yeah. Okay. What, Pedri, I understand the emotion of you being pained as a fan, not enjoying whatsoever what you've seen. Of course, that Joan Garcia, a mistake of failing to control the ball before it ends up in the back of the net is one of those nightmare goalkeeper errors that you never want to see. But it's happened. It's part of football. But ever since that moment, Barcelona have not looked like they are in the game. Like they've not competed, And if they are to have an opportunity to make it through to the final, because yesterday Real Sociedad beat up against Athletic Bilbao by 0-0, then they ought to find a way, one, to score in this game. Perhaps, one, they have to limit conceding. In other words, from this point on, they shouldn't concede any more goals in this game particularly, and then look to score at least 2 or 3 goals. If they can get a 4-2 result, a 4-3 result at the end of the game, despite losing, I think they can take that to the return leg and fight their way into the final. They are the reigning champions. They are looking to defend this title. So I understand the emotion. I mean, we've all been there before. When your team gets beat, you hardly want to listen to any sports programs. You hardly listen to any form of commentary whatsoever. And that kind of thing, it's completely understandable. So I understand your reservations. But for the purpose of our followers, the other, community, you can give us, your observations from the game, even though you detest how perhaps it's gone down. You say a circus of a match. If you want to watch a play-doh defense where you can shape it into anything you want, is that it? Barcelona stupid defense, absolute idiots of players can't defend stupid animals. Jose Cristiano says hi. Thanks for the show. I have talent of playing ball. Can you help me and content and get into an academy? Jose Cristiano, where are you from? What country are you from? Where are you joining us from tonight? For those of you that are just joining us, kindly like the broadcast. I can see we are 8 people on the broadcast, but only 5 people have liked the broadcast. So please like the broadcast, but also if it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel. So Jose, do let me know, bro. Do you think we have an academy, bruv? Isabella Martin. So sorry. Okay. Mr. Tribe barely has 1K subs. You mean 10K? Perhaps. From Jinja, Uganda. Oh, Jose is from Jinja, Uganda. Well, Jose, I'm not so familiar with the footballing academy environment within Jinja, but I'd say if you want to have better opportunities, then you're better off moving within this Kampala metropolitan area of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso, because there's a good number of academies in there. Tony Maweji has one, Andemwesqua has one. And then depending on how good you are, perhaps also do not squeeze yourself into getting into an academy. I do not know how old you are, but if you are still school going, then you could be looking for a school that can offer you a scholarship. If you're that good enough to play for them, we know that schools play football. They play the Coupa Coca-Cola. We've seen so many people get bursaries at Bodo, at St. Mary's Chitende, at Standard High Zana, and many other schools. So depending on what age you are, if you're, let's say, between the age of 7 and 12, then yeah, you could look for an academy. But if you're above that, and if you're 13 plus and you're going into secondary school, you're more better off joining a secondary school that prioritizes sports that can help you develop your talent, as opposed to being stuck to an academy. Bye. I got to go. Thank you so much, Isabella Martin, for always dedicating the time to be with us. I much appreciate it for your continued love and support. You've become one of our regulars in recent times on the channel. Then Pedro says, Jose Cristiano, at this point, play for Barcelona. You can defend better than the donkeys we have playing today. Pedri, they are continuing to show his frustration and the test of how Barcelona players have behaved thus far in the opening 45 minutes of their game tonight. So anyways, guys, that's what's happening. But the Arsenal game is back for the second half. We are back for the second half between Arsenal and Brentford. That game is still goalless, while still at halftime and bound to resume in just a bit is Barcelona against Atletico de Madrid. I told you Joan Garcia's own goal, Antoine Griezmann, Ademola Lookman, and Julian Alvarez were the other goal scorers for Diego Simeone's side as they look to knock out Barcelona out of the Copa del Rey this season. And perhaps, if anything, if we are being honest, I think Diego Simeone needs this Copa del Rey title more than any other manager in Spain. Reason being, they've spent so much money on transfers, and they've spent a lot of resources in bringing players like Julian Alvarez, Ademola Lookman, Johnny Cardoso, Alex Baena, Matteo Ruggeri, and all those other players that they managed to bring in, that he needs to win something, because it doesn't look likely that they are going to win the Premier League title. No, sorry, the Spanish La Liga title, because they are far behind Barcelona and Real Madrid that are at the summit of the standings. The UEFA Champions League is a bit still tricky because they have the playoff. They've not looked that excellent in the competition. So really, you can't bank on that. Meanwhile, Brentford have made some halftime amendments in terms of their team setup, bringing on Jordan Anderson into this game, while Ebeleche Eze was withdrawn for Martin Odegaard for the Arsenal side. Let's see if the Arsenal captain can conjure out something. I'm trying to find out who Brentford withdrew for Jordan Henderson. It doesn't seem to reflect here on my dashboard. I hope I'm not wrong, Okay, Pedri says, okay, Ademola Lookman, yep. Suddenly, look, Mama turns into prime R9 only versus Barcelona. I understand, completely understand the frustration for you there, Pedri. But yeah, anyways, guys, that is what is happening. That is what is happening so far in this game, in those two games. Sorry. I've never understand I've never understood the trick behind Pedri deleting comments. What's up? What's with that? Do you do you have a bit of remorse that then you withdraw some of the comments? Is that it? Anyway, we are all remorseful when you find our words perhaps somewhat unworthy of the intended target. Because when you read it, there is no point being there. Okay. You know our trend here. You know how we roll here. We do as much as possible to read every person's comment, good or bad. We'll at least try to read it. If it makes sense, we'll give our impressions about whatever their comment is. Oh, ah, Barcelona trying to find their way back in this one, but Mosso was up to the challenge with a brilliant save there. I don't know why Arsenal hell bent on playing at the back. It doesn't help their chances if they are trying to find a goal. You cannot get a goal really playing in your own half. You ought to get on the front foot and try and find a breakthrough. You must give it to Brentford. They've been defensively quite very organized and solid at the back. Uh-oh. The Brentford captain Jensen has been booked for a foul on Noni Madueke as he looked to go on the break there. Foul worthy of the yellow card. Julian Timber getting done there from Lewis Potter had a brilliant run, but they could not finish it off with a goal. Oh, that's a nasty challenge from Simeone. Is it Simeone? Am I missing something? Oh, come on. I don't know why Arsenal don't get it. That when you're playing against teams that defend quite deep and solidly, especially in defending times, you're not going to get a lot of space. You need that tiny little bit of space for you to go for it. You know, you need to find just half a space in half a second to try and get through, because they're never going to make it easy for you. Every time you delay to get the shot off, it's another second you give them to organize, to set up their wall and defend quite solidly, like they do quite very often. But we're talking about an Arsenal side that Barcelona have scored to pull one back. So it's 4-1. Told you that's what Barcelona need in this game. Come on, Madueke. Don't be such a twat. He does all the right things except playing a brilliant pass, except a finishing touch. Yes, a donkey scored. Ah, I told you, Barcelona know what they need to do in this game. They just need to not lose this game flat. They need to go out of this game with a 4-2 or a 4-3 score. Now a total comeback is not impossible, but that's what they need to ensure, so that going back to the Camp Nou, they have a fighting chance. They have somewhere to start from. We know Barcelona are capable of these, comebacks. We remember that famous comeback against Unai Emery's PSG side in the UEFA Champions League. So anything is possible. But then also, in yesteryears, you remember there's a game where Arsenal led Newcastle by 4 goals to 0 at halftime, and Newcastle saw that game to a 4-4 draw. The last goal being scored by the late Ismail Chak Tiote. There was, I think, who was the other goal scorer? Hatim Benafa, I think. So anything is possible in football. Didn't look so neat, but it is a goal that they will take. That goal by Pau Kubasi gives Barcelona a fighting chance. Meanwhile, referee David Brooke doesn't always officiate Arsenal games that end in victory. So, Arsenal fans, I do not know if that is something that will concern you, but perhaps it's something that you ought to think about in this game, because things have not gone your way so far. What is he aiming at, Martin Odegaard? A rugby goal or what? It's just too much. Still without a shot on targets, one shot off targets. I mean, you need that composure, you need that calmness. There's an incident being reviewed in this Barcelona game. Come on, move it. Don't stand back. Why do they have to always risk it? Oh, it's just too much on that one. Oh, that Barcelona goal was still in review. I don't know why. Did somebody stray offside? 1 hour played, Arsenal still goalless without a shot on target. Come on, Victor. Oh, Oh, come on. Oh, that looks offside. Hope it doesn't get chopped off. Arsenal could be readying Bukayo Saka to come on for Noni Madueke. What a goal! Noni Madueke scores just as they were preparing to take him off. Beautiful goal from Noni Madueke. Heads it back across goal. I think Pierre Nkapie with the cross. Wow. That's what you need for players like Noni Madueke to step up and get the business done. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal have been far from good. They've been far from impressive in this game. That kind of moment, out of nothing, is what you need to conjure out. Pierre Hinkapi with a beautiful cross, spab header. Noni Madueke heads it up, back across goal where Kalaha is coming from, and that's why he could not get his hand to it. It takes a bounce before on the line before hitting the back of the net, and it's 1-0 to the Arsenal. Meanwhile, Barcelona's goal appears to have been chopped. So it's still 4-0. Pau Kubasi's goal does not stand. Noni Madueke's goal came just within seconds, as the Arsenal technical bench were talking to Bukayo Saka to read him to come on. Now, Arsenal will need to defend well, but also continue attacking, because one goal is not sufficient in the Premier League. It simply makes you vulnerable. You need that second goal. You need that third goal, because even at 2-0, you're never comfortable. You're never comfortable. We saw that against Chelsea, with Chelsea against Leeds. You know, they had a 2-0 lead. Suddenly they concede a penalty. It's 2-1. And a few minutes later, they are conceding a scrappy goal, and the points were shared in a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge. What's David Raya trying to do? You're complaining. He's trying to handle the ball. You know, you're trying to hold the ball. He's trying to catch the ball. There's not much of a foul in that. The referee is not going to ever give that as a foul. If that goal goes in, you ought to punch that ball away. Do not act too smart. Just try to punch that ball away. Brentford are trying to make it as chaotic as they can for the Arsenal in that area, because they know Arsenal too make it chaotic. They know Arsenal to make it chaotic, so they are trying to make bring as much chaos as possible. No matter how much David Raya complains, there wasn't much in that foul. It's always going to be tricky. Oh, Brentford close to an equalizer, long corner to the back post, typically what Arsenal tend to do, and nobody is tracking him because those players are caught in there in goal. Gabriel Magalhaes hitting the floor, claiming a foul. I do not think he has the luxury of doing that. Christian Mosquera could not get out fast enough to try and, fight for it. So that is going to happen. So much so in this game. Oh, oh. They're showing us the offside, the reason for Pau Kubasi's goal not standing. And it was so marginal, very minimal. And Diego Simeone is fired up. Arsenal are going to concede in this game. Meanwhile, my prediction for them was a 2-1 victory for the Arsenal, but I don't know. I do not know. Oh, oh, Joan Garcia being called into a deflective save there. Those ones are always tricky. Always tricky. Always tricky. Oh, ball didn't have enough cover on it to find Ademola Lookman. Oh my God. Arsenal just missed a golden opportunity. Martin Odegaard wins the ball back, makes the run, passes it to Declan Rice, who tries to find Victor Gyökeres, who is then kept away. Brentford, here they come. Oh, Igor Thiago forces David Raya into another brilliant save. But Arsenal missed a golden chance on the other side. Declan Rice, instead of going for goal, tries to pass it for Victor Gyökeres, and Michael Kayode with a quick intervention of an interception. And that's the thing. The small margins in decision making in the game. Declan Rice shouldn't be slipping that ball to, to Victor Gyökeres. He should be scoring. He should be scoring. Martin Odegaard, once again, taking one too many unnecessary touches on the ball. He didn't need to do that. Just pass the ball. Make it simple. Because then you concede possession, and then Arsenal. Bukayo Saka returning to the fold after missing a couple of Arsenal games against Sunderland, against Leeds United, against Chelsea in the return leg of the EFL Cup, their semi-final. Arsenal needing to defend. Oh, giving away too much space. What a block from Gabriel Magalhaes. Kayode was going for goal, made a brilliant run. Oh, Hinkapi gets done. For as long as Arsenal don't get that next 1-2 goals, they're going to continue to live dangerously. That I can tell you. And there's Noni Madueke has been withdrawn, still making the difference in this game. Can Arsenal see it out? Because Man City are not liking the scoreline as it stands at the moment. Michael Coyote, every throw in is like a corner kick to him. He throws that ball quite long and deep into the area. Kane, and it's an equalizer. It's 1-1. Told you, Lewis Potter with the goal. Told you, Arsenal are going to concede. I told you they were going to concede. And Lewis Potter has scored. Meanwhile, that change had not been made of Jordan Henderson. It was, a mishap. I told you they were going to concede. They do create all the chaos. Meanwhile, Martin Odegaard is on the floor with what appears to be a knee injury, and he just returned from a knee issue. He throws in the ball. Arsenal can't defend it. It's flicked on the back post. And then Lewis Potter is there, and David Raya isn't. Oh. Martin Odegaard, instead of trying to get his head to it, tried to kick it away, which could have possibly ended into a foul, and on they go into celebrations. I was just talking about Man City fans not liking what they see. They will now like what they see. It's 1-1. Arsenal could be forced into a substitution here with Martin Odegaard for what appears to be a contact injury. He just returned from a knee issue, came on at halftime, replacing Ebeleche Eze. The question for the Arsenal is who then do they look onto the bench to be their playmaker if they have to withdraw Martin Odegaard? He's going to go off. It does appear he does not believe. It does feel something in his knee. Not sure he'll be able to continue. But if you're Mikel Arteta, then definitely you have to either set off a Gabriel Jesus or a Christian Norgard in that midfield and then push, what's his name? Martin Zubimendi further ahead and leave Declan Rice and Christian Norgard in that midfield pocket there. So, or you bring Gabriel Jesus to play as your number 10. Not what you would have ideally, but he can't play there because he has the running legs. He has the running legs to do it. "15 minutes left to play. It's Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Thought it was going to be a difficult game. Looking at all the giants that have gone to the GTEC Stadium and lost games there, Liverpool, Manchester United, Newcastle, some of the culprits in that running. Only Man City and Nottingham Forest have won away to the GTEC Stadium this season. Yesterday, we saw Sunderland lose their indomitableness at the Stadium of Light when they lost to Liverpool by 0-0. That goal scored by Virgil van Dijk. Here they come. To be honest, Arsenal have not looked good enough or fluid enough going forward. They've lacked that creative spark. And then you go back to that Declan Rice moment. Instead of blasting that ball into the back of the net, decides to find Victor Gyökeres and Michael Coyote with a brilliant intervention, and he denies the opportunity. So if you're Mikel Arteta, your heart must be beating fast. But anyway, Arsenal must have prepared for this moment. Of course, the absence of William Saliba does not help them that much, but they must have prepared for this moment that Brentford were going to create chaos in set pieces. Oh, Jules Kunde, is he trying to ask for a handball for that? It's no handball. Lamine Yamal going to the floor so easily. I mean, you've got to work for it. Come on, Yokers. You can do better than that when it comes to your holder play. Martin Odegaard is back on. Not sure how fit he feels. Come on, put the ball in the box. It's in the box where you can score, not outside the box. Saka tried to control that one in the area. Could not. Yep. If you see me quiet, that means you're not missing much. Not in the Barcelona game and not suddenly not in the Brentford game. Arsenal still dominating possession, but not doing much with the ball. They still have only that one attempt on target from Noni Madueke, while Brentford have had three, forcing David Raya into brilliant saves, both by Igor Thiago, and then obviously the other being a goal. Sorry about that. There's a mosquito around. And the other by Lewis Potter, which was the goal for the equalizer. Oh, Arsenal looking to make two changes. Ricardo Carafiori and Gabriel Martinelli, the players looking to be brought on, you expect could be a direct swap for Piero Hincap, and then Leandro Trossard paving the way for Gabriel Martinelli. I still don't understand why Christian Nogard does not get as much in playing time as I think he would deserve. Arsenal failing to clear their lines. Another corner kick in the final 10 minutes of the game. Oh, the world does well. The Barcelona game here as Atletico de Madrid continue to search for their fifth. If Atletico de Madrid were to get a fifth goal in this one, it would be more than a mountain to climb for Barcelona going into the second leg. Why on God's green earth would you let Martin Zubimendi be the one to mark Igor Thiago? Again, Arsenal scrappy Bukayo Saka missing the ball. I don't know. He seemed static in the moment, like he couldn't twist his body. Leandro Balde withdrawn for Joao Cancelo in the Barcelona Atletico de Madrid game. It's a nail-biting spell at this moment in the game. Oh, come on. Ball is too scrappy. Gabriel Magalhaes. Oh, gets away with one there. He knows he's already is on the booking. Can't let his team down by getting a red card when they are trying to win this game. Beleche Eze could not find his footing in that game, to be honest. It's not the game where Arsenal, you felt, had a footing in the game, not in an attacking sense. Oh, Brentford nearly scored here to make it 2-1. David Raya put his hand to it to put it beyond the reach of an incoming Dango Ouattara. Here they come again. Another set piece for Brentford. Squad from one was a throw in. Arsenal being given a taste of their own medicine. They have to retake the corner kick because David Raya was pulled and hit the ground. I don't know why Saka was brought on. He looks so unfit. He looks so unfit. He looks so unfit. I'm wondering to myself why it wasn't Gabriel Jesus who wasn't brought on instead, because he looks so unfit. Dango Ouattara getting his name in the referee's book for dissent. This game is destined for a 1-all draw if Arsenal not losing. Given their performance so far, I've not had much faith in them, to be honest. They've not created any chances, any big chances in this game. Only one attempt on goal. I don't remember the last time I saw Bukayo Saka look this unfit. He's hardly run. Oh, can't find the breakthrough. Arsenal won the first leg by 2-0. It wasn't easy. It's just found a way to win. Oh, Arsenal are appealing for a throw-in, but the referee wasn't convinced. Christian Mosquera to the rescue. Otherwise, Igor Thiago was destined for the other end of the goal. Christian Mosquera with the pace and the very well-timed tackle to keep Arsenal in this one. Like I said, if anything, it's Brentford that look the more threatening, the more likely team to score. Oh, he was already looking at goal before the intervention for the tackle. Keith Andrews couldn't believe it. Another long throw in from Coyote. Let's see where this one lands. But not further enough. Ah. We're getting into the final minutes of the game. Mikel Arteta feels the heat. He knows what this result means. He knows that with that victory for Man City yesterday means they go from 6 points ahead to only 4 points. And like we keep reminding you, there's that game at the Etihad Stadium between Man City and Arsenal to be played on the 18th of April. But before that, there'll be a lot to fight for. Gabriel Martinelli delaying to get there. You have two unfit players who can hardly run in this Arsenal side. In Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka, they can hardly run. They can hardly run. They've been so immobile. They've been so immobile. everything that you hope Arsenal would create in this moment, in this game, it's Brentford that have created. For everything you think Arsenal should be creating in this game, it's Brentford that have created. Declan Rice with a timely intervention. Wow. And they keep playing the ball in behind them. Oh, Thiago almost breaking some hearts. He went for power and put it over the bar. Oh, David Raya. Oh, I still feel we're going to have a very dramatic ending to this game. It's Brentford who have done all the right things in this game. 11 attempts on goal compared to Arsenal 6. Only one on target. What Gabriel Martinelli with a miss. Coleman Kelleher with a brilliant save here. Then Igor Thiago goes through on this end. Julian Timber with the run through, plays in Gabriel Martinelli. Oh my God. That was Arsenal's chance to win it. Victor Gyökeres does brilliant holder play. Julian Timber goes through, can't get sufficient control to it. He passes it to Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli lets himself down. That extra touch. Somebody's cramping here. Barcelona still can't find the way through against Atletico de Madrid. Arsenal once again drawing too many games because this would stand to be their sixth draw of the season. It's finished full-time score. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. Arsenal could not find a way through, and that means 2 precious points dropped after full-time score. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. What a game. What a game of football. Arsenal will know that they were lucky not to lose this one. Will know they were lucky not to lose this one. 2 precious points dropped. That's what it will feel like for Arsenal. But for Brentford, they'll know they had an opportunity on multiple occasions to win this game, but couldn't. So that means Man City are back within 4 points of reach of Arsenal, because that's 57 points with Man City at 53. They couldn't have hoped for a better result if you're Man City in the pursuit of this Premier League title. Of course, they would have loved it to be a loss to the Gunners, but a 6th draw for the Gunners. I do not think Arsenal did enough to deserve even a point in this game. They just didn't look at it going forward. They lacked the edgeness. They lacked the sharpness. The manager decided to bring on 2 players that did not look anywhere near good enough or fit enough to be in this game. I did not understand the rationale of bringing on Bukayo Saka ahead of Gabriel Jesus. Forget the withdrawal of Noni Madueke, but ahead of Gabriel Jesus, who is probably was more fitter for this game than Bukayo Saka, who is just returned from injury. I mean, he did not run. He hardly ran. It's only one moment when he sort of sprints back to try and help with the defending. But even then, he did not look fit. He did not look like he wanted to do it. He did not look like he was comfortable doing it, you know? And then on the other side, Victor Gyökeres, they didn't create him any chances. I thought he did well overall in terms of his holder play, bringing others into play. He created that beautiful moment for Uran Timber to go through, and then he decided to pass the ball to Gabriel Martinelli, who instead of taking that ball the first time with the first strike, he decided to take one extra touch, and that gave Akomen Kelleher quite the time to come and adjust his body to put in the block, and it ends. Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. But the Gunners will know that that's 2 precious points dropped. You've been such a wonderful audience. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye for now. Good night. It's been a pleasure. Josie, Cristiano, Isabella, Pedri, OR, who else? I'm trying to see your names through here. Okay, just for the laugh, and every single one of you that has been part of tonight's broadcast, allow me to wish you a blessed night with 2 minutes to 1 a.m. here in Kampala, Uganda. Until tomorrow morning, stay blessed. Bye-bye for now.